Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, Noodle here. I apologize if there was any kind of error in the last video, especially the last portion of it. I kind of got kicked off a strike server, so I'm not quite sure if Fraps captured everything or not. I want to say that it did, but I don't know. Fraps is sometimes finicky with what it records and how it records. So if it's just like, if it's like 10 minutes of fucking blank screen of me talking, I apologize. I'll put something entertaining in there, I guess. How did I do this? Was it like this? I'm trying to remember how I did this in the other area. Was it 3x3? I thought it was more than this though. It's gonna make me go over there and look. God damn it! All right, so where I was? Oh yeah, I found Druidism. At least that's what this book said, and it encompassed everything that I could have ever wanted in a religion, and I felt like it was right. And I was learning how to create circles, and I was learning different kinds of spells and how to manipulate energy. I was learning how to, you know, just get in tune. And the coolest thing about my religion, the coolest thing that I really liked. Oh, okay, I did it like this. Okay, did I put stairs? I did. Okay, all right. I see now. All right. And it was everything that I could have ever wanted, and I literally had this one book to work with. Well, I was in school, and there was a group that I had found online, and they were a group of druids, and they were like, hey, you know, you can learn about Druidism. You can learn, you know, the real deal. We'll actually send you booklets and information and all this stuff. You have to pay like shipping fees and some of the costs or whatever, but you can totally do it from home, and no one has to be the wiser. But yeah, so it was like the initial cost was like $20 or something, and then after that, if you wanted to be a member or something, it was like $100 or something, and they would just send you shit like every month. For free, well, you know, with the exception of the $100 you paid, and yeah, so I fucking applied, dude. I was like, fuck yeah, man, this is exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I was looking for. Let's do this. So I applied. They sent me my starter kit, and the starter kit had like a notebook, and it had like all kinds of information and like these little books and stuff. It was really, really cool, and I don't know, man. It was a really cool thing. Well. Anyway, I get this stupid fucking this thing, and it has a thing in there. It's like, okay, so you know you have to send a check with this much money in it, blah 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 blah, and then you have to be 18 or older, or 18 and older. All right. Well, the problem was I wasn't 18 yet. That was a bit of an issue. So okay, I'm doing this right. So I got a hold of them, and I was like, hey, listen, is there any way that you guys can make an exception to this rule about this 18 or older? You know, because you have to like send proof that you're 18 or older. And I was like, I'm not 18 or older. In fact, I don't remember how old I was, but I had quite a ways before I was like 18. And I was like, but I'm really interested. I want more information because I feel like this is the right path in life. And I was trying to like get on their sympathetic good side, and they basically wrote me back, and they were like, sorry dude, you gotta have like your parents' permission, so like tough shit, like you gotta have your parents' permission. I was fucking devastated because at the time I didn't tell my mom anything, because like I said, my mom was Catholic, and Druidism was really far away from Catholic. It was really far away. And I was fairly certain that she would flip her shit if she knew half the stuff I was getting into. So there was no way I could tell my mom. Like, none. And so I just got miserably depressed, and I dropped it. And I was just... I felt like my entire religious journey was for naught, because I finally found something that I could really embrace and really be a part of. And as it turned out, I wasn't old enough to be a part of it, and I would have to wait for some time. So me being a teen and adolescent, I got emo and I got really sad, and it was just really fucking depressing all around. And I just kind of stopped believing in anything. I guess I had my atheistic moments there. I wouldn't even say atheistic. I was just agnostic. I didn't know what to believe. I knew there was something out there. It had a fucking name. It was Druid. I just couldn't fucking have access to what I needed. Well, as some of you may remember from my stories about me joining the military, I actually joined the military when I was fairly young. I actually went to basic training while I was still 17. So I went to basic, and I didn't really have a faith. And I would just tell people I was Druid for the simplistic sake of being, Druid. And because I felt like that was the right fucking answer. It's just I didn't have the information that I needed. And so I went to basic, and they were asking you about your religious preferences. And I said Druid, and they were like, well, we don't have that. And I was like, do you have pagan? That's the closest thing. They were like, yes, we have pagan. You can put pagan on your dog tag. So I was like, cool, just give me pagan. I'll do it. So fucking... I was still working off this fucking book that I found in the library from long ago. Like, I never turned the book back in. In fact, I think I still have it around here somewhere. And I was just kind of... I didn't really prescribe to a faith. I said I was pagan, but it was more like I say that I'm Catholic, but I never go to church kind of thing. And I remember I got my dog tags, and I was in basic, and somebody found my fucking dog tags because I left them on the thing, and they were like, oh shit, you're pagan. I was like, yeah. And they're like, shit, I'm pagan too. Well, what are you? And I was like, well, I'm Druid. And they were like, wow, that's kind of weird. And I was like, okay, you're pagan. Why are you calling my religion weird? Aren't you Druid too? And I had no idea. Like, I have no concept of the different sects of paganism at the time. And they were like, no, we're Wiccan. And I was like, we? And he's like, yeah, like him and like 3 other fucking guys. And like, yeah, we're all Wiccan. So hey, if you ever want to fucking just hang out or talk, by all means, we're here. So I was like, well, that's really fucking cool, I guess. Okay. I was super down. What the fuck? Can they get up there? No. Okay, good. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little distracted because I'm trying to. I'm doing like 10 different things right now. Hang on. All right, so I was like, okay, cool. So I got with these guys and I started talking with them, and they were like, so why were you interested in it? What brought you to it? Blah 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 blah. And I kind of recanted my tale, and they were very impressed that I got as far as I did by myself. And then I told them about this fucking the club that I was trying to join. They were like, yeah, that's pretty common. It's hard for younger people to get into paganism because so many people are scared to tell children. Fuck, I made ladders. I didn't need ladders. God damn it. To tell children about it because of the problems that happen. And I was like, well, what fucking problems are there? And they were like, well, persecution from the church, persecution from others, people that don't understand, parents who don't understand. They think it's a phase. They don't actually, they don't believe that the religion's real. And so one thing led to another, and I was telling them about being Druid because they were not Druid. And I kept describing it to them, and they kept looking at me like I was fucking stupid. Now, I know people who just make shit up, who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I look at them basically the same way that these guys were looking at me. And they started acting really weird. And I was like, okay, man, like, what's up? And they were like, dude, you have no idea what the fuck a Druid is, do you? Like, you have no idea what your faith is. I was like, well, what are you talking about? Like, I was really confused at this point. And they were like, you're not describing being a fucking Druid at all. Oh, okay. And they're like, you don't have a fucking religion. And I was like, well, bullshit. Like, I had this fucking book, blah, blah, blah. And I showed them the book because we were allowed one religious text when we go to basic training. And that was the book that I took. And they flipped through it and they read a few pages real quick. And they were like, wow, you are fucking retarded. They're like, is this the only book that you've ever read? And I was like, yeah. And it had everything in it was perfect, man. And I kind of expressed my fucking woe at this point that everything in this fucking book was everything that I ever fucking wanted. And then here these assholes are telling me that it's wrong. I was fucking devastated and frustrated and fucking just ugh. And I don't think I started my timer this time around. Fuck it. I'll just continue with my story until I'm finished. I have no like easy way to figure out how long I've been recording. Hang on. I'm gonna restart Fraps. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry, I had to do like some time check. I got like 10 minutes, so let me reset this, and then I can do it for 10 minutes. Start. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So, they were like, "What you're describing isn't Druidism," and they told me what Druidism is, and I was very disenchanted by what Druidism is. It's not anything that I thought it was. It's basically like, yeah, they had magic and stuff like that, but it was basically like worshiping trees and believing that trees have power and you could tap into this power. I don't know, man. It was not what I thought it was. And I felt like a fucking dumbass. And they said, "But have no fear, friend. The faith that you are talking about, that you believe in, is real." A little confused. I was like, okay, well, what is it? And they were like, what you're describing is Wicca. You see, the thing is that the author of the fucking book that I wrote didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. Because you have to remember, this is during a time when neo-paganism was just coming back into the light of society. Oh, shit, balls. Come here. Yeah, bitch. There we go. Also, sorry for the lighting situation. I realize that my videos can be a little dark sometimes. I am going to go ahead and try to fix that. Like at the end of all this shit. I'm sorry. I think it's in the middle, right? Like that? I think so. All right. And they were like, they had the right ideas and everything in the book was true except for the fucking name. They're like, the name is wrong. What you're thinking about is Wicca. Okay, what the fuck is Wicca? And they were like, just take everything you know about Druidism. And I was like, uh-huh. And they're like, and fucking replace it with Wicca. That's it. It's the only fucking difference. They're like, everything that you've done, your circles, your magic, your belief, your structure, it's fine. You just were calling it by a different name. Well, I needed a little bit more proof, so I started looking into it. Fuck yeah, they were right. And I was wrong, and I was the jackass for it. But hey, you know what? Live and let learn. And as it turned out, I had a faith. And by that point, fuck the haters. I was able to fucking go study and do whatever the fuck I wanted because they gave me a wealth of information. And it was a really fucking cool experience that these guys who I just randomly met by chance, like, had all the information that I needed. Now, some of you are like, well, what the fuck is Wicca? Okay, well, basically, I'm going to describe to you my faith and my belief. And you all at home are going to need a very open mind for this. Not that it's weird. I myself personally have a very weird view on religions and an often contradictory view on religion. So here we go. I'm going to try to explain this as clearly as possible because this is more of a I don't know. Fuck it. Here we go. So Wicca, as it is a neo-pagan religion. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that a long time ago, remember I described to you what pagans were and how they were worshippers of the old gods, stuff like that. Well, basically, they when the church started doing its what I like to call the conversion by the sword, meaning that they would kill people if you didn't convert to their religion. Is this the right? Yeah, it is right elevation. All right. A lot of the people of the older religions hid in terror, and they hid their faith, and they kept it to themselves. Now this isn't a bad thing in and of itself, but what it did was that all the religious texts, documents, stories, fables were now passed down by word of mouth. And as people converted to different religions and people stopped, using your faith, those stories dwindled. And all of a sudden, now there were gaps in the religion. And there was these holes that could never be filled because it was lost forever. The expansion of modern religions destroyed a lot of old pagan religions because of the fact that there was nobody around who knew these fucking stories. And those that did were too fucking scared to say anything, so they passed them down from generation to generation. So you have people who have the generally same concept and same stories, but it's like a game of telephones. I whisper something in your ear and you pass it on to two different people, and then all of a sudden they're whispering it down to all these different people. And next thing you know, you get, 50, 60 people down the line, and the story you told might have the same, big major points to it, but it's completely different. It's a completely different story. So that's kind of what happened with the pagan religions, is that these stories got all jumbled up. So what you had to do is you had to go back and piece together a religion. And it's not true. It's not 100% certified, because a lot of it is filling in the gaps. A lot of it is just trying to... There's a hole, and you just have to fucking fill it with the closest bit of information that you could. And what do you pull this information off of? Well, fucking a lot of older religions. Because what it is, it's a celebration of old religions. And it just kind of mixes them all into one. And that's why a lot of people have a lot of problem with Wiccans, is because you can have 3 Wiccans in the same room, and we all believe in different things. Because it's like a fucking salad bar of religions. You pick and choose what you like, and you don't fucking pick what you don't like. And you prescribe yourself to that faith. Wicca is supposed to be, by the book, and by like certain authors and stuff who've written about it. I think we're done with this tower, actually. I'm going to go ahead and put some lights up top. Just so that way it's not so ass fucking dark up there and have things like creepers and stuff spawning up there. But I think we're done. And that is the different tenets of the faith, is that you have a god and a goddess. It's a duality, each one representing the male and the female versions of humanity. The female is often seen as represented by the moon, and the moon has 3 phases. Technically it has 4 phases, but for this argument it has 3 phases. You have the waxing, the waning, and the full moon. By that you mean you have the crescent pointing one way and it's slowly getting more and more full. That is the waxing. Then you have a full moon, and then you have a waning, which means that it's starting to get small again. That in and of itself is a representation of the female god, the female goddess, and it's a representation of females in general, going from a young maiden to a mother, being full, meaning a full moon, and then slowly getting older and turning into a crone. It's, I don't know, in Wicca we have a huge respect for females, where a lot of other mainstream religions are more patriarchal, meaning that God is a man. Everybody likes Jesus, he's a man. Women are often seen as sinners. Mary Magdalene was a sinner. I mean, I think the only woman that wasn't a sinner was the Virgin Mary. But even then, she was married to a man, and Joseph was the one who was in charge of everything. I don't know. Eve, was a woman, and she bit the apple and was, seduced. She's the reason why humanity got thrown out of Eden. You can kind of see where this is going. In Wicca, we revere women, and women have a power and is a stronger pull towards magic than men could ever hope for. I mean, after all, a woman has the power to give life, and that's something that a man can't do. You could argue that, well, if Woods were a guy, she wouldn't get pregnant. While this is true, we can't create life. We can only help in it coming to existence. So there's that. So the goddess is really powerful. The god is both her husband and her son. It's weird, the duality of it. And I don't know. It's a really cool poetic religion, but you really do kind of have to pick and choose what you believe in. Some people believe that the goddess is a manifestation of all the goddesses in the world, meaning that she is Diana, Aphrodite, Freya, the Virgin Mary, every female representation of a deity. That's what the goddess is, and the god is the male representation of gods, meaning God. It's also Jesus Christ. It is also Zeus and Hades. It's he's everything. Some believe that the god and goddess are their own separate entities, their own separate domains, and that the god is the god of the forest, and he's in charge of life, and the woman is in charge of sexuality and birthing and poetry. So it really depends on who you believe. There's also a third sect, and that is the sect that I kind of follow, in that you worship a god and a goddess, and you pick who you worship. Out of all the gods and all the goddesses, you pick who you need at the time, and you worship them because they're the ones who are going to help you the most in your time of need. And some people prescribe to these gods all the time. Some people only use them temporarily. And you understand that there are other gods and goddesses that are out there, and that there's more than just two. So you pick and choose, and so I pick and chose my goddess. It's a mouthful, and it's very confusing if you don't do a lot of study and research on it. But basically, we believe in magic. What the fuck? They're in love. Did they have a little babby? Maybe? That was weird. They were like all in love. Well, I'm going to leave you guys to it. You guys have a babby. Holy shit balls. There's Zomble in there. How the fuck did the Zomble get in here? It's all lit up. No, there's nothing but fucking torches in there. Thank you, baby girl. Thank you for just being like, I need more lighting. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we believe in magic, but it's not like hocus pocus stuff. It's a manipulation of energy. We feel that there's energy everywhere, and that by pushing and pulling energy, you can change its direction and thereby change its purpose. For example, if you're sick, some people prescribe to prayer. We can have ceremonies that would have us pull our own energies off of us and feed them directly to you. And those energies would be sent to you, and they would heal you or speed your healing process. And that is a form of magic. That same concept can be said that we can also do dark and evil magic as well. Magic is all the same. Like, remember I said earlier, it's all the same. It just depends on how you use it. And that is very true for Wicca. Everybody has access to good and bad magic. But we primarily try to use good magic because there is a common law that we follow. Doesn't matter what belief system you believe in. There is a structure, or there's a rule, I guess I should say, and that's the rule of 3. Some of you may have heard of it before, and that is, everything that you do will come back to you times 3. That's like the simplistic version of it. Basically, what energies you put out into the world, you can call it karma, if you will come back to you threefold, depending on what you do. Now, it doesn't mean that if you give somebody $10 out of the goodness of your heart, that you'll suddenly find a check in the mail for $30 from some random person. It doesn't work that way. But what it'll do is it'll go ahead and cash it in later on, like karma, where, well, I guess karma is like sort of an end of your life. We kind of cash it in during our own lives. where if you put out good spells and good magic, hey man, that's good karma for you. And who knows, maybe one day, you know, you forgot to set your alarm, but you know, you woke up because your alarm went off and you didn't set it. You don't ever remember setting it. But that day you were able to get up and go to work on time as opposed to sleeping in and being late. It allowed you to, you know, roll that extra fucking 5 miles on an empty tank to get to where you have to go so you can get some more fuel. You know, you'll be fucking broke as fuck come the time that your bills are due, and through some stroke of fucking luck, you know, somebody that you met in the past is like, hey, I think I owed you money. Here, let me just pay you back real quick. And then, like, now all of a sudden you have enough money to cover your bills. That's what good karma does. And it's manifested in this, in Wicca, by the magic that you put out, by how you believe and how you treat other people. And yeah, I really like it. And I think that it's a very powerful force, not to be reckoned with. Before you ask, I don't do love spells or curses on people. I rarely do magic anymore at all. It's more just a form of inner prayer than anything else. In fact, I think this topic is gone on long enough for this episode, at least. When we come back, I'm going to go ahead and try to describe it a little bit more clearer, because I don't think I did a very good job this episode. I'm kind of tired. I've been up since like 4 in the morning, and it's now midnight. I'm trying to get as much recording done as I can for you guys. So thank you for listening to my rant and not making too much sense. If you guys can follow along with me, then say so in the bottom, but I'll try to clarify better in the next video. Let me just write down some notes and pointers so I'm not just kind of grasping at straws. Also, thank you for leaving any kind of comments that you guys leave behind, or likes. Those are much appreciated as well. Also, don't forget that we have a Misfit Inc. is having our Patreon page up and going. I haven't mentioned it in a while. I'm trying not to shove it in you guys' faces too much. I have a link directly to our Patreon account. Both in the, I think it's in the description. I don't think so though, but it's definitely at the end splash screen, where like you can subscribe and, you know, click the link box that never works. That'll take you to the next episode. It's all the info in there. I think what I'm gonna do for at least a little while is the little Patreon symbol that I have at the end splash screen. I'm just gonna go ahead and link the video for those of you who didn't watch the video, because I think it only got seen by like maybe like 30 or 40 people or something like that. But yeah, if you guys would like to donate, support the show, by all means, go ahead and do it. You can set up monthly payments. Actually, I think it is just monthly payments. They take all the payments out of the first, but you can do something as little as $1 a month to as much as you want. If you guys want to give me your whole paycheck, you can. I probably wouldn't accept it, though, to be fair. But yeah, there's cool swag to be had. I know some of you guys out there don't have jobs, or don't believe in fucking giving random people monies, or don't just have a job, or don't fucking want to do it. That's fine. Continue watching the show as always. I just thought I'd throw it out there just because I haven't mentioned it in a while. So thanks again, thanks for listening, and I will catch you all in the next episode.